This is Marcus Norman from Gentleman Style Podcast Show. You all, this is the dynamic couple you all have been waiting for. I've been waiting for, you've been waiting for, I've been waiting for all week long. I can't wait to bring this powerhouse couple to the Gentleman Style Podcast stage. They are phenomenal. I've been falling in love with them more and more, deeper and deeper all week. Stay with us. Stay tuned. You won't want to miss 1 second of who I'm bringing to the stage. Here we go. Hey everyone, I'm your host, Marcus Norman of the Gentleman Style Podcast Show. And I have these business moguls, powerhouse. These are relationship goals. These business moguls have a return on their investment mentality when it comes to business, and romantic partnerships is a no-brainer for them. Coining themselves lovepreneurs. I love it. The millionaire couple created the aptly named LOVEPreneur platform, which is teaching and coaching and mentoring and bringing the business aspects together instead of apart. Their journey of entrepreneurship while strengthening their relationships, bonds, and building an empire is growing at an exponential rate. And this couple is the couple you need to learn from and connect with as they grow. And they are sharing nuggets today on the Gentleman Style Podcast Show. So help me welcome to the stage the incredible lovepreneurs. Welcome to the Gentleman Style Podcast Show. I love them.
What's happening, Marcus? How are you, sir?
Fantastic. Thank you all. I love you guys. Thank you for being here on the Gentleman Style Podcast Show. You guys are goals for me. You guys are doing it for me. I love the movement. I love the trajectory you on. Tell us what inspired this union, because you guys are goals for most relationship couples. 88% of the couples that join your platform are still connected today. What's your secret? What's the sauce here? Can you share some tea about yourselves, please?
Most definitely. So we literally have been doing business together over about the last 13 years. We started our business together before we were even in an intimate relationship. And for some of the people that are listening, understanding that partnership is one thing and relationship is something totally different. We focused on the partnership before we focused on the relationship. If we can't be partners, we're not going to have many things we can be relatable on. So we identified that was important up front. We started a business together. I was already an entrepreneur. I've been an entrepreneur for 21 years now. When we started kind of just seeing each other, she would listen to a lot of the business moves and transactions that I was doing. And I let her tell her story on how it all came about. But we literally got into business before we got into an intimate relationship together.
Absolutely. Please, ma'am, share it. Tell us.
I love it. So one of the things that Demetrius and I kind of figured out in the beginning was, in order for us to be able to have an actual solid relationship, we needed to have visions and goals. Now, the beauty about this is that we know God was guiding us through this process. This wasn't something we went in saying, let's intentionally date and intentionally build a business together. We were both, as individuals, at a time of our lives where we know we wanted more. We were tired of these dating games. We did not want another mundane relationship. And we knew that our future was gold. We knew that there was something different about us as individuals. That was established very early on individually. And when we came together and started dating, we realized that he had goals for like the next 5-10 years. And he asked me what my goals were. And that's when lovepreneur coincided. Because if he has goals and his goals were real estate, and he asked me what my goals were, and they were also real estate, when we have that in common, then let's build an empire together. This wasn't a terminology we were using when we were dating, obviously, but it was the mindset. if you know you want to be a millionaire and you know you want to invest in real estate and I do too, shouldn't we do that together? Yeah, sure. Okay, so let's figure out if we can actually have this partnership. And it wound up turning out that we could. But Marcus, none of that process was easy. And because of that, the pain of birthing a brand new type of relationship was where the birth of Lovepreneur came about.
I gotta ask. So you mentioned there were some pains, right? That's expected through any relationship building. What are some of the common problems that you see couples going through when they try to blend that entrepreneurship journey together, right? Because it's not easy. Nothing's easy if it's worth it. But you two proved it. You two proved that this is possible. What were some of those issues that you faced early on?
Well, I'll start with us starting out early on. With us, there was no information out there about it. There were no books you can go read. There were no YouTube videos that you can go and look up to find out how to even make this work. So literally, this is something that we started that was nothing there prior to. So we were experiencing so many things when you have two people that are both powerful in their own rights and trying to bring them together. You can only imagine the type of impact that would have and an explosion on so many different levels. It was just a lot. And we knew that we had chemistry, but just knowing, understanding what was the pedigree of that chemistry was something that there was no information out there about that. So we understood that since there was nothing out there, we had to be the sacrificial lambs to not only go through the experience, but also document the experience on our own, understanding that so many couples are going to come up behind us that is also going to need to understand how this works.
So one of the things we had issues with, I came from corporate America, right? So I at this time it's 2007. Although I knew Demetrius, we knew each other since 2001. In 2007, it started, some chemistry started building there, and our conversations started becoming a little different, a little more intentional. So what happened was, I'm in corporate America, just graduated from Temple University. I'm a consultant, and my husband's the entrepreneur. So his lifestyle is, I get up when I want, I make the calls that I need to make. I have a few meetings throughout the day, then I can meet you for lunch. Then around 9 p.m., I go back out. I make, a few more calls. I stop at my body shop. I stop at a few of my projects throughout the day. But there's so much free time in between. And me, corporate America, my lunch break is at 12 and I got to go back at 1 and I don't get off until 5. And, I may have business calls throughout the day and I got to be there punctually. And that dynamic of something so systematic and structured to where he can just do his own thing at his own terms, meshing that together was like, wait a minute, you can't do that. And that mentality challenged us both. How? Okay, so here goes corporate America, right? I need to be on time. I need structure. I need organization. I need Excel spreadsheets. I need them color coded. If you were supposed to be in a meeting at 1 o'clock, I suggest you be there by 12:55 and no later. Make sure you have all your notes, and list goes on of how punctual and structured you should be, right? And then my husband, I jump when I want. If I'm ready, if my heart says jump, I'll jump. If not, I take risk. I take calculated risk. I have to do a lot of networking, so I'm always out and about. I got to go to different events. Our worlds were really different. And until we both put down our prides, we both put down our egos, and we said, okay, wait a minute. If I apply some of the things that you're talking about into what we got going on, and if you apply some of the things that you have going on into what we have going on, we may be able to build something beautiful here. And what was built was an entrepreneurial relationship. I brought in the organization, a structure, which he had to take heed to. And can I tell you, Marcus, till this day, at a whole different level, it's still a fight. Because it's not who he is quite naturally, right? And that's what makes this dynamic ongoing, needing mentorship ongoing. Because to this day, the same flaws and issues and weaknesses that you had, you're always going to have. You're just more cautious about it. And you're going to become better because we're all becoming. And then vice versa with me, the punctual. It got to be like this. It got to be color coded. So very militant. That doesn't work in the entrepreneur life. Everything isn't black and white in the entrepreneur journey. Sometimes you just got to follow your heart and understand and truly believe and have faith that everything is going to work out fine. It's going to be okay. That whole militant structure does not work all the time in entrepreneurship. So we both had to collide those words together.
You said something that's huge. Ego. You got to kill the ego. You got to kill the ego early on. And our mascot, the entrepreneur mascot here, that's a no-go. Got to kill the ego. Your relationship will not thrive if you don't kill that ego. Something else that's unique, and you all coach to this, you all mentor to this, you all teach to this, is you grew up in two different homes, two different family household dynamics, right? And that dynamic usually is a killer for most relationships. One household was a single family household and one was a two-parent household. How did you guys fight through that? How did you guys blend those two minds together? Because that's not easy to do as well.
Yeah. So once we understood what the ROI would look like by doing so, a lot of times you get forced to do that. You're coming from one world, I'm coming from another. We're now a couple. We got to figure this thing out. But figuring it out to what? What's going to be the end result of figuring it out? And I think a lot of times couples don't think about that. If we can get our families on one accord, we can be a beautiful, powerful family together. There's gifts and weaknesses in every family. We understand that. There's going to be forever problems that come up. Now, here's the key. Understanding that when a problem comes up, if we are on the same page, it's easier to find a resolve in that problem. And understanding even the problems that we have from the beginning are all teachable moments for us to understand each other on both sides of the spectrum. So if her family's used to doing things one way, my family's used to doing things another way. It's not about what side of the family has the right way to do it. It's about what's the better way collectively that we can continue to march forward. So there were so many things that we had to just allow to be teachable moments and not take offense to, understanding that, okay, this is how it normally goes on our end. This is how it is on this end. Okay, we got to bring this together. So let's have some compromise on both sides to realize this is the goal that we're trying to get to. If we do it together and focus on that together, we can build a happy family that enjoys being together.
Yeah, I agree with that. One of the things that we learned very early on is that we actually have two amazing support systems. Like that was established, it was obvious, because our home was a godly home, his home was a godly home. I didn't necessarily grow up with my biological father, but I did have a stepfather that came about once I was 16. And in that process of between not having a biological father at all until my mom remarried, my mom taught me how to be a strong, independent female, where I had a bank account by the age of 12, where I had my name was on her credit cards very early on. It taught me how to fight. And what I love about what my husband just said, and we're talking about faith, please understand that your history, your life journey is all about connecting the dots for who you have to become. God has a plan for you, and every single piece of the puzzle that is part of your making of your story, your own individual personal story, has everything to do with who he wants you to become. And what I realized for this relationship, this type of dynamic, this lovepreneurship, having to marry a man that is full of risk taking, and trust me, just go with me on this. We're jumping off this plane, no parachute. There's going to be a guy 2 miles down. He's going to throw us the parachute and we're going to catch it. So just trust me. And it's like, wait, what? In order to be able to have a woman by your side that say, okay, fine, let's do it, you have to have a fighter. Because I know that the guy that we're meeting 2 miles down, if for whatever reason that parachute don't reach us on time, I'm going to figure out how to reach long enough to catch some parachutes for us. That requires a woman that fights to be able to do that, or a man that fights. So my fight was for a purpose to prepare me for this. So the question is, in the process of our individual household, my husband could not possibly date a weak female. There's just no way. A female that doesn't know how to solve problems, a female that doesn't know how to solve everyday issues, a female that doesn't know how to get her guns out and say, all right, what we got to do. But then here's the kicker. I had all that down packed. That was my natural. That's my story. Now, how did I learn how to bring it down some? Because no powerful man want his wife fighting the war at home all day long. It's just not going to happen. And in a dynamic like this, it could be difficult because we are solving problems all day. So my single parent household prepared me to the woman I am becoming, because I'm still becoming, for my partner, for my business, and for my family. And we actually got that revelation early on during premarital counseling, how the reason why I grew up would benefit who we are going to be. And my husband was able to teach me what it is to have a structured family home that I was not raised with. And what does that mean to love a man and respect a man and be there for your family unconditionally? Little by little taught me how to be there for my two children and how to be the mom that I need to be and the wife that I need to be in front and behind the back of my children. So there was a reason for this dynamic. And we got that revelation early on that instead of fighting against these two different worlds, not combine them. No. Just take what's great about these two different worlds and create our own planet and create our own how to build, how to be, our own principles and systems in our own planet so that we can then continue to multiply how we see fit.
I want to give her a microphone, another microphone, so she can drop it. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Communicate. Yes, Leona. Teamwork, and communication all day long. Nailed it on the head. Put down the guns. Learn to fight together. Learn to that's hard, right? To relinquish that not necessarily independence. I don't want to say independence, but relinquish being strong and having someone by your side to know they got your back, to know that, babe, you could lay off the edges a little bit. You can rest today. You can put it down. I got you. You can put it down. I'm gonna pick it up. That's it. That takes time. So,
but let me just, Marcus, can I interject right there?
Please.
Because I know some of my independent females are saying right now, but wait, okay. But let me just say something to my men. When you have an independent female and you're saying to her, put the guns down, babe. It's okay. You don't got to do all that. I got you. I'll lead you. Let me paint a picture for you really quick. So you have a family member came from out of town, right? They out of town and you're going to a destination. It's your town. They're from out of town. You're going to a destination. They need to follow you to get there, right? They don't have the address. They didn't put it in their ways. They're depending on you to get them there. Correct?
Correct.
The leader. So you're behind them in the car, traffic jam. And the only way to make sure that that person still follows you is to bring them up to the front. So now they're in front of you. You're the leader. They're in front of you. Correct?
Correct.
Now they're trying to figure out, where am I going though? I got to follow you, but now I'm in front because I'm a leader. How difficult is that person in the front trying to read your turning signals from the back, trying to see if you're going left and right? Do you stop here? Should I go over here? The communication is off because you don't have the destination. You don't have the direction on Waze. You don't know the address. There's no way you can lead me. It gets to be confusing. And what happens, friction comes about, because if you can lead me, then lead me, have the address, have it in Waze, have your destination down packed. Do not say to my amazing men, to an independent female that knows her address, knows how to get there, has it on Waze, full tank of gas. Okay? That you're going to lead her and you don't have a destination on the dial. You can't get there unless you keep looking back. So if you're going to tell an independent female, boo, I got you, please understand and be prepared to lead her beyond how she leads herself. And it's okay if you're not ready to do that. It takes time. You may have to practice how to get there a few times to that direction. But the thing is that you need to get there and get there better than she will get there herself. If you want to have the courage to say, put your guns down, babe, I got you.
Well, I'm
a lot of
hearing
men are up for that challenge.
Now, and real quick to the same, when it comes to that woman, because we've been through that, you know, we had years of understanding how to make that work. Understanding that you have to be willing to allow that man to lead different than what you're used to doing by yourself. Because sometimes women have been doing it for so long, they've been fighting for themselves for so long, understanding that there's different styles of fighting. You know, you have southpaw style fighters, you have all different types of fighters that have different strategies. And at the end of the day, it's not even about whose strategy is the right strategy. It's about what strategy will work best for us in this dynamic. As long as we understand that we have the coach, we have the person that focuses on defense, the person that focuses on offense, the person that focuses on conditioning, whoever needs to play that position in that season for the situation at hand, that you allow that person to lead, understanding that it may not look like what you're used to seeing, but we do have the destination that we're going to go to. So as long as the destination is there, 100%, understanding that the man may lead different than what you're used to, but we're going to that destination. So there's a lot of different layers. We won't have enough time to get into breaking it down. I'm sure it's going to be different perspectives that your audience sees, but there are more layers that we could cover at a later date.
For sure. What I hear is I get an imagery of the man with the map in the wilderness, and he's leading his family, and he doesn't know where he's going, and the wife is just stop, just ask for directions, just ask for help, and the man is just refusing. He's like, I got this, boo, I got this. Oh my gosh, this is nuggets. You all just came back from a retreat. Tell us about the Lovepreneur retreat. Tell us about that.
Lovepreneur retreat is amazing. So we do 2 couples retreat a year, and one are in the summertime, and it's coming up now in August, and another one Valentine's Day. And the reason why we do this, because as entrepreneurs, we are driven. Business is in our blood. We are driven to succeed, goals. We're on a mission. And obviously, we still need time for ourselves. We need food for our soul, food for our relationship, and our love to grow. So what we do is we get together with other like-minded couples, and we pick an amazing island. The last one was San Martin. This one is in Dominican Republic, and they're all private locations. We have a lot of influencers that come out to these places. We don't give out the address. Once you're going, you will get all the top secret information because it's completely private, a huge mansion. We all stay in this mansion, and we're masterminding how to do business, how to take it to the next level. There are guest speakers that are part of the everything that you may be building, and they just give you nuggets and different hacks on how to scale your business to a whole nother level. We've had people receive funding on the spot. We've had people sign contracts on the spot. And the thing is that in this relationship, partnerships have formed on the spot. This type of relationship, we're not just driven by love. We love love, but we know love is not enough, right? We need to make sure that our finances are there. We need to make sure that our mission is there. We need to make sure that we're constantly driven by information to better us, our family as a whole, and our businesses. So we make sure that we focus on that during these retreats, and we still love on each other. We do different outings, and we're together, but you're together with people that have valuable information. You're not together gossiping and all this other stuff. There's actually masterminding happening every single day during these retreats.
We have a snippet of the last retreat, so we're gonna go ahead and share that on the screen here. Check this out, y'all. Check this out. Check out this last retreat.
Yes.
You can't get any better than that. You can't get any better than that. So that's the mastermind retreat. This is a whole experience, but it's not just a vacation. It's not just a getaway. It's a brainstorming. It's a coming together. So I had to steal that clip, and I wanted you all to experience it. And so we're the next place we're going. Listen to me. I'm saying we. The next place
Marcus,
Speak that thing, brother.
100%. We're flying out on a private jet to Dominican Republic, to this private location, an amazing mansion, full staff, chef, cook meals, morning, lunch, dinner. I mean, you're talking about top notch. We shortcut, no experience. And this time, Marcus, this is something that this is first time we speak about this. We haven't even added this to the flyer, so you hear it first on the Gentleman's Podcast. Listen, what we're going to do, we have Dominican Republic is not my birthplace, my parents' birthplace. My grandma literally just passed away in April. And one of the things my grandma was really known for, she would receive missionaries in her home, cook for them, do everything for them, give them a place to lay their heads while they're out there on a mission. So, and doing missionary work. Well, we decided, since that's not going to happen any longer this year, what we're going to do is take some of the proceeds of this retreat. We're going to go out with all the couples. They haven't heard this yet. They don't even know this part yet. Okay. They're literally hearing it now. We're going to go out to an orphanage that we decided to partner with. And we're going to donate these proceeds. We already made the connection with the orphanage. And this is an orphanage that my grandmother was connected to, did some work with. And we're going to visit this orphanage of all girls. They don't have a home. This is where they're at. And we're just going to experience that. Dominican Republic is such a beautiful place. Obviously, everywhere in the world, there is need. But this is definitely a thank you to my grandma, because we will continue her work. And coincidentally, we're going to Dominican Republic, which was planned before her death. And why not honor her in this way, and also expose this to our amazing rich friends that even in Dominican Republic, we can have an impact while we're still having impact on one another. So yes, that is part of the retreat this year. First time we're doing it, but it's a perfect country to do it at.
And there's a surprise wedding happening at this retreat. The first time. A surprise wedding happening at the retreat.
No one knows who's getting married.
This one is going to be very, very impactful on so many levels. But most importantly, what we make sure we do with all the retreats, we love to have fun, make sure everybody let their hair down, have a good time. But most importantly, as entrepreneurs and couples, it's very important for us to take time away, not only just to have vacation and retreat and have a good time, but being able to unpack our bags in real time, like really unpack what we've been doing in our relationship and in our business, and repacking our bags. We get to find out that there are some things that we've been carrying in our bags that are no longer relevant to where we're going. They were good in the seasons that we were in, but no longer for this season. So being able to repack our bags so we can become lighter and move forward in lightning speed as we're going into the next dimension of our business and relationships.
That actually happened during the love letter session that we did. So we're couples. So I actually had the guide, and it fell off my lap here.
She's giving a lot of sauce right now.
I am giving a lot of sauce.
She's giving y'all a lot of sauce.
So
right
we do a guide for every retreat. This was a St. Martin guide. All the information in here. Only couples get it. People get to buy it after the retreat, so you can feel like you were there. But in this guide, there's a section that's called the love letter. And what the couples do, they sit there, and within like the first 2 days of being there, they get this guide. They have to write out their love letter. And the last night, they have to pour their hearts out to their partner and give them everything they got, especially after learning so much information. Some of the things that, okay, you're right, I confess, my ego, my pride was in the way. And they actually get to spill this out. And you can only imagine, Mark, especially as a man, the naked truth comes out. You get so transparent. A man becomes so vulnerable in that moment. And the most beautiful part, Marcus, is that other like-minded men that are also as equally as powerful as them also get to be vulnerable. And that's just such a moment that everybody connects, and you go home different.
They almost got me, y'all. They almost got me. They really. I was. Another round of applause for family in DR and grandma and family. Yeah. That's big. That's big. That's huge. I need you guys to spill some tea here. Because one of the things to get people to the retreat, it's one thing to be vulnerable at a retreat and be vulnerable in front of your partner one-on-one, but it takes another level of courage to be vulnerable in front of people that are, just like you said, minded. I did some digging. You guys teach to this and you mentor to this, but how does your partner impact how successful you can be? I think you guys share this. You guys share this throughout your social media, and you share this at the retreat. But there's an answer unique to you guys that I need you guys to share today. But choosing your partner, how does that impact your successfulness in business?
I love it. So my husband mentioned earlier about an ROI, and to those that may not necessarily be in the business world like that, ROI is return on investment. Very early on, my husband and I were very intentional about everything we did. And the question is, every time we make a decision, what is the return on investment for us when it comes to this, right? And in our digging and research, what we found in the Journal of Psychology, there was a study done of thousands of couples. And the study was, what happens if a partner supports another partner in their endeavors, right? In business or in their career? What would be the return on investment? This is a study done for years, a return on investment, if the partner supports the other partner in their endeavors, in their business journey. And the return on investment is a whopping 77% return on investment, meaning that your net worth increases by 77% by your partner simply investing in you, helping you, supporting you. So what does that mean? So if I want my net worth to increase by 77%, I need to invest in my husband, education, teachings, how to support the conversations, the conferences, so that he is being trained, not just by me, but by actual professionals on how to grow and support this business, and vice versa. So if him and I both are part of conferences and educating each other and coaches and mentorship, so that we understand how to support each other in our dreams and our visions and in our businesses, we have a ROI in our space, just between him and I, of over 150%. So it's a no-brainer that my husband figures out, okay, how can my wife support me and help me? Because if she does, I'm 77% richer. My net worth increases by 77%. So I got to invest in her. What the issue here is that most in this partnership, where a person has a dream and a vision, the other partner doesn't want anything to do with it, doesn't know how, and doesn't want to. Where the other partner never says, well, you know what, let me invest in teaching you how to, so that then you can make an educated decision if you want to. But it's worth my investment to train you in what we're doing.
But here's a deeper, this is going a layer deeper, right? Although they focused on here, what does, and I want everyone that's listening to this to really think about this, what does that 77% turn into when you are able to take it generations down, right? A lot of times it's generational curses built, but how do you unpack those generational curses and reverse the ROI, right? Because there's negative ROIs and there's also positive ROIs. How do we continue to make sure we're going positive in our ROI as we're going layers in generation? By understanding that this dynamic can work, right? If I'm the one that's the only powerhouse, I'm the only one that knows how to operate and run our business. God forbid something happens to me. It cuts off the next generation because she's not educated enough on how to keep the businesses not only going, but growing. So that next generation that would come up and have the opportunity to keep the business going even after both of us have stepped away, they're no longer allotted that opportunity. So that cuts off the generation under them. So not only is it about the percentage, but it's also about the opportunity that's allotted for the generations to follow.
Yeah, I love that. This is not a gender thing. Whatever business you're growing, we have plenty of women in our community that it's a makeup line and cosmetic, and it's done. It was their original vision, but then they understood the ROI and bringing the partner, and the partner was like, okay, well, yeah, how can I help? Let's do this together because what you're bringing in will double, our net worth will double, and I know the business now as well. So that's the impact that it has.
Absolutely. That is gold. And I think you all, we have a question from our VIP sponsor in the show, Miss Nikki Brown, that I wanted to caveat and to continue this dialogue. She asked the question, how did you go from supporting to investing with your husband while you were dating? And so I think this is a continuation of what you just laid down, the foundation. And I wanted her question to get answered by the experts.
Nikki, I love your question. And if you don't mind, we want to tell a quick history and story about how our journey started so you can get an understanding of what that looked like, right? With the body shop, you can.
Yeah. So early on, before we really got serious, we were just kind of in that dating stage. As I stated earlier, I was already an entrepreneur. So there was one particular day that we were together. She was off work, and I was just running around at different job sites. My guys had a problem at the auto body shop, so I had to go to the auto body shop and deal with it. So she happened to come with me. I had her just stay in the office while I go back in the garage to, help the guys out, figure out what the problem was. So while I was back there handling business in the back, to my surprise, she was up front handling business in the front. And she was the first female. A lot of times I get the question, why did I choose my wife? She was the first female. This was one of the things, right? She was the first female that ever took the initiative. When I came back up front, and this was probably about 40 minutes that I was in the back with my guys. When I came back up front to the office was spotless. All the files were lined up, categorized the way they needed to be. Each vehicle's identity was separated from the other. She even went as far as cleaning the bathroom. I've never had a woman that I dated take the initiative to do that. Seeing a problem, right? We understand that everything's about problems and solving problems. Seeing a problem and realizing that she had an opportunity to fix it. That made her stand out from any other woman that I've ever dated. And so that was like, okay, we got something here. And then I'll let you go into your part when it first started out of how you jumped in.
Well, what I wanted to, let me just caveat a little bit off of that. The reason why I did that wasn't for a return on investment. Quite naturally, I am a giving, supportive person. If I see someone, let's just say, doing something in the kitchen, I'm the type of person I automatically go in and say, how can I help? Right? This is me. And you have to sit back and think, who am I? Am I the type of person that loves to support? Sacrifice and support comes natural to me. Matter of fact, I had to learn how to set boundaries because I do it too much, right? So it was quite natural for me to do that. And one of the things we tell lovepreneur couples or someone that's dating and it's like, what should I look for? If you are an entrepreneur, you need to look for someone that loves to support. That is a no-brainer because you cannot force that. It's going to be the biggest arguments of your relationship, forcing someone how to support. Because as you continue to grow your business, you're going to need support in a lot of areas. And if they're not willing to step in and say, what do you need me to record? What do you need me to do? Let me just bring the phone out. Let me do this. Let me do your administrative. Let's just support. You see there's a gap, jump in and figure out how to do it. That's not natural to everyone. And can someone learn that? Yes, they can. But understanding that that's something that's needed because you're an entrepreneur is necessary. Again, that wasn't intentional in the beginning. I didn't do that to see if he would stick around. It's just, I saw a dirty bathroom. I don't want to pee in this bathroom. Let me go in here and clean it. I saw a desk that needed to be more organized. I noticed that's not his thing. That's not his strength. Let me do that. So I heard that I read the question in the dating process. And what I sometimes hear a lot is, why is it worth me doing it? And we're just dating. We're not married yet. And it's like, well, this is the dating part is the part where you're testing to see if you can actually build with this person. Because if you were to offer your support, would they appreciate it? Or would they get mad at you? Why are you touching my stuff? Because that could have been his thing too. His reaction could have been, why are you on my desk? Why are you touching my stuff? There's too many personal information. This isn't yours. Then I would have known as a supportive girlfriend, all right, he's not the type to build with right now. We still need a few, some more training or some more building techniques here to figure out if this is helpful. But he didn't. He reacted so gracefully and thankful with such gratitude. He appreciates it. So that told me this is someone worth helping because he appreciates it. So these are the things that you look for in the beginning. And this is why we felt like it was a good decision for the both of us to say, we're going to help and support each other.
I know that answered your question, Miss Nikki Brown. That definitely answered mine. That was phenomenal, and that needs to be said. Out of fear, I think it's out of fear. We subconsciously we stagnate ourselves. We hold ourselves back from our partner because we don't want to invest too much. We don't want to give too much of ourselves. We have another. Wow, this is good. We have another question from another VIP sponsor, Leona Elsie. She asks, "How do you handle it when they don't allow you to support or give?"
I'm gonna let you take that, but I will say this, Leona. A lot of times, not that they don't want you, they just don't understand the ROI. They have not been exposed to the fact that there is a huge return on investment. They don't know that there is a 77% net worth increase on a line. Why? They haven't been exposed to it. And how can they? Get them around other like-minded couples that do it. There is a reason why it's being done. And there's also a reason why it doesn't work at the end, because they never continue to invest in their marriage. Well, we're not going to go there with the Kanye and the Kim and everybody else that seems to be growing apart. Let's focus on the Beyoncés, the Jay-Z's, the Michelle and the Obamas. Why is it that they continue to invest not only in their business, but in each other? Because they understand that with that support, there's an increase. And listen, to my Black and brown amazing people, we do not have the time to sit there and not get all the support we possibly need. If I know that in my home, who I'm sleeping with can offer me a 77% net worth, I'm not seeking that investment out anywhere else. It's right here. I can't support to neglect support that I can get at home. I would rather sleep with the enemy than dream with the person I'm sleeping with. So investing in who I have around to expose them to the net worth and the ROI that is possible in supporting one another in this relationship is the key to getting that person to understand how and why.
So you also have to understand the backdrop of who the person is. That's why it's important to do the way Marcus did an investigation on us to understand Lovepreneur even before we came on here. You need to take that same tactics into who you are dealing with in a relationship. Great job, my brother. So understanding who the person is, what they've been through, what their traumas have been, because trust is not easy for a lot of people. Some people have been scorned, they've been hurt, they've been through the storm with other partners prior to you. So you have to understand the backdrop to know how you're going to strategically open up this door of opportunity for allowing you to help and support. They may have been hurt by somebody. Somebody may have stolen from them, family, friends, partner, staff, whatever. So understanding the past will help you create the plan that you're going to use in order to put your support in. You might have to ease support in. You may be a strong person and you might go straight for the juggler. That may not be the proper way of going into the situation with this person, understanding their past. So that's very important to understand the past, and then you can put a plan of action together of how you're going to implement yourself in. Or even asking questions. How would you like support? What's the best way for me to support you in this season right now? How can I be of help or assistance instead of just inputting yourself right in it? So depending on who the person is, for me, I'm the type of person, what's up? What you bring to the table? Let's make it work. But I understand every guy is not like that. Some guys are very territorial and protective of what they've built this far. And if you don't have background and history and data on you being successful in certain areas that you want to support, that's another thing that will stand out to that person. So sometimes whatever it is that you're coming to the table with support, having a little history and background in that specific area can be helpful for them to bring those walls down and allow trust to come in, to trust that you'll be able to help and support the way that you may be suggesting that you can do. So that's very important.
Leona, I also have, we created our love, can you see that here because of the lighting? Okay, our Lovepreneurs Grow Rich devotional. This devotional is exactly for that. We are very strong women sometimes. Sometimes we can be a little too strong, too possessive, and too controlling, right? So what happens is with this devotional, we created this very specific questions. It's 12 commandments. It tells you our 12 secrets on how to be a lovepreneur. But the questions that are on here, you can do it with your partner. And it opens up and it provokes conversations that you would have no longer have had with your partner. You wouldn't have thought about those questions, or your partner may not have accepted the questions, accepted the questions just coming from you. But if they read it with you and they realize it's coming from a book, they'll be more open and receptive and saying, okay, wait a minute, how would I do that? Like one of the questions is, what are your strengths and weaknesses in your business? What can you do about your strengths and weaknesses? Or is there any strengths that you see in me that I can help you in your business? And therefore it provokes conversation like, actually, yes, I like that you're organized. Yes, I actually like that you love finances. You can help me make sure that, my spreadsheets are clean and things are being submitted on time. So this devotional helps to build this type of structure if you're interested in the process of becoming a lovepreneur.
Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. This couple is huge. Sir, I wanted to piggyback off of something because you are right. I did do some digging. And this was unique. You had a habit that you broke when you met your future, your wife, your boo, your queen. Tell us about that habit. And because she did something to break the chain for you. She told you no. And that was something you weren't used to. Can you explain that and give my audience some tea? Can you spill the tea on how that really molded you as a power couple?
Absolutely. So I'm a very visual person. Most men that are entrepreneurs, that are goal driven, that are very visual. Like I'm a visual person. I know what I like to see my lady look like. And so for me, I'm the guy, I don't mind going to the mall. Let's go shopping. Hey, this will look nice on you. That'll look nice on you. I want to take you shopping. She was the first woman that I've ever dated that said no, that wouldn't allow me to take her shopping in the dating stage. And so that was different for me. I honestly didn't even know how to deal with that. I couldn't even call someone and ask, hey, how do you deal with this? Because that's just not normal. It's not common for a woman to deny, a shopping spree, if you will. So that was one of the things that stood out different about my wife than other women that I dated. And I honestly didn't know how to deal with it. But after getting more of an understanding of her and who she was, I understood it then and respected it. So I think that was pretty dope that she did that. It literally set a different tone than what I was used to.
Why did you tell him no? Why did you say no?
So Marcus, let me just say that became the first no of few no's that were very untraditional in my husband's life. And maybe we can save that other tea for another day, which is a really good one. But the reason why I said no, again, if you guys remember going back to the pieces of the puzzle, and please trust that you are becoming and that your history has everything to do with that. Being independent, being a strong woman, knowing how much influence and power he had. Demetrius was very known in Philadelphia, a really successful businessman. I did not want to fall into his mundane way of dating women. I wanted no parts of that. I wanted to build. I did not want to be attached to him where I owed him something. I wanted to bring something to the table. And by him now just feeling like he can, want to dine me whenever, I felt like I would lose my independence and my value of what I had to bring to the table. I needed him to see who I was, what I brought to the table, that I too have something to offer. And it has nothing to do with money and shopping. It has to do with what can we build together. And I thought that if I started that pattern in the very beginning of the relationship, we will always fall victim to that pattern every time. And I did not want to have that type of pattern. That wasn't what I was interested in.
I love that. I love that because that brought a whole new dynamic. It took me back a long time ago. And I this is a new conversation. What do you bring to the table? Well, what do you bring to the table that someone already has their own table? Right, and that paradigm is the shift, because typically business owners are alphas. A woman who's successful in the traditional 9 to 5, she's in corporate America making her own money. So she has her own table. A man who's an entrepreneur running several businesses, real estate, flipping, house hacking, all of it, right? Body shop, right? That question is void now. And so what else is there? You guys are giving me flashbacks of prior dating events. Oh my god! But powerful, powerful, powerful. She asked a question, Miss Leona. She said, "How did she get the book?" Can you answer that question for her, please?
The link tree, if you want to put it, I think that would be the best thing. My IG is at Dhayany, which you see it there. And there's a link tree, and on there you will see the devotional book. There's a link to our site, and we have a store too, lovepreneurstore.com. Exactly how it's spelled there, lovepreneur, and then store.com. Has all our books there and some merch. You can definitely catch that. Yep, we have all our merch, our good stuff. So you can definitely be able to get it from there. And this is the devotional. It's the hard copy. You have the ebook as an option and the hard copy, but it's worth it. And it's a whole year long, Miss Leona, a whole year long. So it's definitely worth it.
Love it, love it, love it. My last point, you guys, I really wanted this to be the core to take home, because you guys teach to this and you guys taught me something. But a house divided leads to divorce. How and why?
I love that. So the word DI means two. So if you have two visions, that is division. And division leads to divorce. Two visions cannot live in a home. Two visions will lead to a separation in goals. So it's not that I can't have my goals, my visions, what I love and what I want to accomplish. And the same thing, my husband, he can also have his own. But when we combine them, bring them all to the same table and say, okay, let's create a game plan, systems, and principles that we learned through the 12 commandments of lovepreneur. How can we make sure that we keep this together as a unit? That when you need support, I'm there for you. And that when I need support, you're there for me. And that when we both have difference of opinions, we could bring it down to not what we think is right, but what we know will be right for this dynamic in our relationship.
Most definitely. And a lot of times we get the question like, so to have two different visions, so you mean to tell me that I can't have a business over here and my wife has a business over there? That's not what we're saying at all. But at the end of the day, if we have two different businesses, there's still a way for each other to support each other in the business. It doesn't have to be totally separate where you know absolutely nothing that's going on in my business and vice versa. There should always be enough information and knowledge about each other's business that in the event that something happens, the other partner can keep the business going. You can have staff that are there. You can have your whole team, but it's still going to be leadership necessary. And even when it comes to decision making, if you are both entrepreneurs, why wouldn't you share the experiences of the decisions that need to be made? Even though you may have your team and your boards, it's nothing like that person that knows you the best and that lives with you, know your track record of who you become. So being able to make sure that we keep everything together, like for the life of me, I don't understand how there's married couples out here that they split everything. They have separate bank accounts for everything. It's like, why did we come together if we're going to still keep everything separate? You should have just stayed single. It just doesn't make sense to me. So being able to come on one accord and have one vision is not only just about the business, it's about the finances, it's about the kids, it's about the future, it's about all of that. And what do we do? Because here's one thing we know for sure, being in entrepreneurship as long as we have, like we're not the 2 to 3 year gurus in business that just became successful during the pandemic. We're real entrepreneurs that have been through the full cycle, meaning up and down in business and entrepreneurship. There are going to be seasons that one business is going to be striving more than the other. And then there are going to be other seasons where it'll be the reverse. So it's important to make sure that we understand each other's business to some degree just in case it's one of those seasons. We can say, okay, we're going to take a little shift. This business right here is maybe not doing much. What are you doing in that business that's still striving that I may need to implement over here, and vice versa? So it's important to make sure that you don't have division on any degree, that we are under one accord. We are under the power of agreement about everything that we do in our business, in our relationship, and in our family.
Yeah, and it's worth it. One of the things that we realized during our hundreds of couples case study in our Lovepreneur platform, the reason why a lot of couples do not do this is because they do not want to be accountable to anyone. So it's the lack of accountability. And the issue is that that's ego and that's pride. And who else but to hold you accountable but the person that knows you the best? You have so many people, they doing coaching and counseling. They just want to do it, just done by themselves one-on-one. Why? Because they do not want the very person that knows that most of that stuff may be fluff, hold them accountable at home. And then that's a whole nother process. That's a whole nother conversation for another day. How to keep the dynamic still with love and intense and chemistry and just hearts in the eyes, and still be able to hold each other accountable. But the secret sauce is that in order to not have that division is to make sure that everyone can stay accountable to one another and grow together.
I'll just share a little hack, right? When it comes down to business, I get this question a lot. Do partnerships really work? Like, let's just take the couple off the table. Just partnerships, man, woman, partnership in business. And I tell people they do. But what you need to focus on while you're doing your research on your partner is how they handle the current relationship with their wife or who they're in relationship with. That's going to tell a lot how they're going to handle the partnership in business. So that's a hack. If I could just share some extra gems on y'all, make sure you do your research on how they treat their partner that they're already in partnership with before you decide to get into a partnership with them.
I can't. I got nothing. I got nothing. Oh my gosh. This has been an incredible show. Kill the ego, y'all. Kill it. Get rid of it. We're not taking it into 2023. We're not doing that anymore. You all are phenomenal. I love this. How can my audience connect with you? What do you guys got in store? What you got coming up next?
And the retreat is what's happening 100%. We have a few conferences we're a part of. They're all on social media. But our retreat is in August. Guys, I'm telling you, imagine this type of level, like 10xing this information, business information, relationship hacks, all that good stuff under one roof in a sunny, amazing island, in a private location, your personal chef. It's just an amazing experience. And so we have the retreat in August. Definitely check that out. Marcus put up our link tree, our Instagrams at lovepreneur, at Dhayany, at Meet the Emperor, our website, lovegrowrich.com, and text us. If you want to experience this, you want to just get to know us, receive personal text messages from us, encouraging messages. I know every relationship isn't perfect, y'all. We're not here on a pedestal. The reason why we're able to have this community is because we get to experience the drama first, okay? Firsthand, right here. The blessed part is that God helps us overcome each and every experience so that we can tell you the light. It is possible to overcome and succeed. So text us the word love to 215-461-3589 and be part of our community. It's completely free. Get your husband or your partner or your girl or someone that you may be dating involved so that they can too be exposed to this level of information.
And really quick, you just spoke on kill the ego, right? It's very important to understand this, right? Pride and ego goes together, right? Pride is the birthplace of poverty. I'll say that one more time. Pride is the birthplace of poverty. So when you kill your pride, when you kill your ego, right? You want to kill your ego so you can fly high with egos. That's the mission that we're on. Creating a community full of eagles so we can fly and soar high together. I got one quote that I personally came up 3 o'clock in the morning, probably 8 years ago, right? So many people spend so much time preparing to land that they miss their opportunity to fly. We are not those people. we're going to make sure we create an opportunity to figure out how we're going to land by the team we build while we're flying. But that is important to make sure that you're flying with eagles, right? Pigeons see things from the ground. Eagles see things from the sky. So you want to fly high with other eagles so we can continue to soar and scale together.
Mic drop. Mic just dropped. Oh my God. I love it. I love it. There you have it, y'all. Connect. I'm going to put the website back up, the Instagram. Check them out. I told you guys this was going to be a powerful episode. You guys got to connect with this dynamic couple. They are changing the world, one relationship, one marriage at a time. The Lovepreneurs. One more round of applause for. This has been a fantastic show. I want to say this to you both on stage live. Don't ever quit. We need you. We need what you're doing. You guys are on a mission, and the train has left the station, and you cannot be stopped. So don't ever quit. We need you. We got to let them go. And I want to thank you all for tuning in to the Gentleman Style Podcast Show. I know this episode has been impactful, an episode that has changed your trajectory. If it doesn't change your life, it'll definitely change your trajectory. Get on board with that retreat going to DR, and those donations are going to a worthy cause. Support. Thank you all. We got to let them go. They got companies to run and worlds to take over. So thank you all for being on here. Like I always end every show, take care of your friends, take care of your family, and always take care of business. This is Marcus Norman, the gentleman, and the Lovepreneurs signing off. We love you guys. Bye.